Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we are going to talk about the spell Power Word Pain.
Horrific
Pain.
pain. Everything's awful. My whole brain and self hurts because I had to read this.
Speaking
Well,
of
that's not true.
speaking
This
of
is
awful,
all right. This is 7th level enchantment spell from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Takes an action to cast, 60-foot cast range, verbal components instantaneous. This is a sorcerer, warlock, and wizard spell, unsurprisingly. You speak a word of power that causes waves of intense pain to assail a creature you can see within range. If the target has 100 HP or less, it's subject to crippling pain. Otherwise, the spell has no effect. If the target is also unaffected, it is immune to being charmed, which I don't really get that, but okay. While the target is affected by crippling pain, any speed it has can be no higher than 10 feet, so nugs flying and burrow speed too. The target also has advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws other than Constitution saving throws. Finally, if the target tries to cast a spell, it makes a Constitution saving throw, and the cast is failed if it fails. A target suffering the pain makes a con save at the end of each of its turns. On a success, the pain ends. So it gives disadvantage to everything but the check needed to keep it up. Initial impressions, Bob.
no, I mean we've talked about power word spells before.
That we have.
All right. If you were powerful enough to be casting 7th level spells and your opponent has under 100 hit points, kill it.
This is almost always going to be the better option. Is debilitate it in a way that kills it more aggressively, or outright kill it yourself. Sinking 50 damage into it for a 7th level spell slot is not hard to do. That's going to be way more effective than making it worse. And if it has more than 100 HP, you probably want to be using a more powerful effect anyway.
Yeah,
the condition here isn't good.
It well, one positive, it doesn't appear to get an initial saving throw, correct?
No, if it has 100 HP or less, this just happens. That is a big upside to it, but not like a lot of save or damage effects will do half damage on fail anyway. So they are also having a floor of they will always do something. And if that something is 25 damage instead of 50 damage, that's still pretty good for you. This doesn't give you any damage option. This is just a worse dominate person or monster. Or not even dominate, hold. It's a worse hold person or monster, I think, most of the time. And that's not where I want my 7th level spell slot to be.
No, I mean, I'm racking my brains trying to figure out when you'd use this. If you want to take somebody alive, but, cripple them for a round and we'll kind of cripple them and have everybody else tackle them. I don't know.
Yeah, my question is, when is this better than all of the similar text condition spells that are save-based? When is this so much better than dominate monster or hold monster or hold person?
That's just it. It's not like, I mean, those get saving throws.
Yeah, but they also affect things that have more than 100 HP. And I think that trade-off is
this is specifically for when your opponent has under 100 HP and you know this by some means, and you want to take them alive.
What if you instead cast Irresistible Dance? Because that also doesn't offer a save, I don't believe. You pick a creature, it starts dancing in place. It's again got the condition about being immune to charmed, but then it doesn't have an HP threshold, and you always get this effect. The internet's taking forever to load it. But
what level is that?
6th level.
Yeah, use that.
It's got disadvantage on dex saves and attack rolls. Other creatures have attack rolls against it, which this spell, like Power Pain, doesn't grant allies or advantage against attack rolls on the thing. Irresistible Dance, they can't move either.
Yeah, I mean,
Pain doesn't require concentration, I guess.
For you would cast that on a build
where you'd
much rather have your
concentration open? Huh?
For Irresistible Dance, can they cast spells while they're dancing?
Yes.
Okay, well that's something. This one they have to make a
con save to do it.
Con save, yeah. So I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here.
Yeah, I think we talked about this when we talked about Power Word Kill. There's going to be a non-zero amount of times you think something is less than 100 HP, you Power Word Pain them and nothing happens, and you're going to go, that was worse than if they had passed a saving throw against a banishment, because at least I know it could have worked. Like, Banishment could have worked if it fails, and at least I went for it. This could have never worked, and now I'm just sad I wasted a 7th level spell slot, and everyone hates it, and it's sad and disappointing. And unless you're doing the meta thing where you know, like, quantitatively what the HP of a monster you're targeting with this is, it's going to be too inconsistent. If it is at exactly 100 hit points, that's when it's at its best, and you don't get to know if it's exactly at 100 hit points. Very often, you're going to cast something it's taken 40 or 50 damage, and you go, okay, great. It's probably in Power Word Pain range. If it is bloodied, if it has less than half its max HP, you probably just want to keep wailing on it. You probably just keep wailing on it anyway, regardless of its HP threshold. I don't know, like, in practice, how fun or usable this spell really is to cast. Whenever you want to lob your big status condition effects, it's almost always at the beginning of a fight. This isn't that's good there, unless, again, you have the metagame knowledge of these are the quantities of HP that these monsters tend to have in this campaign. I don't love any of that. I think that whole meta conversation is frustrating and annoying, and it really just rips you straight out of the game and into the meta world of, well, are players supposed to have the knowledge of this? And would your character know if this thing has this much HP? Or are you just going to be like, maybe you're weak enough this kills you? And doesn't even kill you. It just makes it a worse condition than a whole
Yeah, I'm saying, like, at least Power Word Kill. I mean, if it works, you get something. You're saying
they die.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you said a couple minutes ago, you cast this and it might not do anything. Even if it works, does it really do anything? Not a whole lot.
If they have ranged options, no. If they have non-spell ranged options, no. Right? Disadvantage on attack rolls is about as good as a frightened condition, and you can get that for a first level spell slot.
I take that back. It doesn't not do anything.
It
doesn't do anything for a 7th level spell.
Yes, viewers at home, I hope you heard that gigantic word Mike Spike. That was wonderful. There was a weird audio glitch on your end, Bob. It's fine. But yeah, it does very little.
Yes. What else to say about Power Word Pain?
I hate this kind of effect is still in the game. I think we've grown past it. I think we don't need Power Word anymore. And I hope in 1D&D or 5.5 or 6, whatever we're calling it, whatever the nomenclature around it that the community decides to name the next edition is, I hope they do away with these kinds of effects and replace them with different thresholds. I hope, I think comparative HP is more interesting, but
I don't know. Don't do away with Power Word. I like the name.
Sure,
just
I think
make it something cool.
Yes, big dumb 9th level spell die is cool. That's a fantasy that we should have delivered. 100 HP threshold ain't it, and we have to figure out a better way around it. I think the HP threshold or nothing happens. Something has to happen. Even if that something is, if it has more than this X HP, it makes a save, right? Give me some other thing that will occur if I cast this, so it's not cast do nothing, which is an outcome that should never happen when you're spending a 7th level spell slot.
You know what also bothers me about, all right, they get disadvantage on all their saving throws except Constitution, which is the saving throw they need to get out of the pain.
It's the saving throw they need to maintain concentration on spell effects too.
Right.
Which is, like, if this is targeting a spellcaster, probably what you want it to be doing.
It's like somebody saw this in original form and thought, whoa, this is too powerful.
It imposes disadvantage on its own saves. That's crazy. It's not like hold monsters a spell level lower or 2 spell levels lower than this or something.
Yeah, that docks at some points for me.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's just insult to injury.
This is another one of those spells where I go, I wonder what spell level I'd put this at. I'd be happy casting. It's probably around 5th. It's probably around a disadvantage on everything is fine enough. 100 HP or less at 9th level, that's going to be a lot of things. Okay, I can see this as the one
everything except like the one thing you really wanted to have disadvantage on. Because
I mean, you really want to have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah, but I wanted to have disadvantage on getting out of this condition.
Sure,
that could be the saving grace of it. No, I still wouldn't take it, but yeah.
Power words, I think, they were a conceptually interesting premise, and they did not land even a little bit in execution. I think you can do better, viewers at home, on casting spells than Power Word Pain. I think the meta knowledge conversation's awkward, annoying. I think even if you get this specific version of it to work, the outcome isn't amazing. The outcome is like a slightly upsided frightened condition, and that's not worth a 7th level spell slot when Irresistible Dance is a slot lower than this, and prevents them from moving outright. So, like, no, you can do way better. If your objective is to get around a save and like beat legendary resistance, you've got better options than this. Maze is even an option I'd point you to before that, because at least Maze, again, there's no save. They're put it in another space of existence. And yes, they can like check their way out of it, but then there's no save conditions whatsoever. So we've got, and I don't love Maze. I don't put Maze very high. It's an 8th level spell, so it's more expensive than this, but it hits anything. Power Word Pain is restricted to 100 HP or less. If it's in that range, you'd probably just want to be killing it. You want to like CC really high HP things at this tier, and this is not good enough for that.
Yeah. You got a rating?
I think this is a 1. I think this is pretty uncastable. I think it's too fickle. If you do get the condition to happen, I question if it was worth the 7th level slot whenever you know it has less than 100 HP and you have other readily available options. So you shouldn't take this on more or less any character.
Absolutely, I agree. My initial thoughts is to give it a 1, but I will say, if I was inclined to give it a 2, I'd give it a 1 anyway, because that Constitution thing pisses me off.
Sure.
But that's not an issue. It's just a straight up 1.
I enjoy seeing what really irritates you about the spell design and what really irritates me about the spell design, and how they tend to be very different things, but I'm all here for it, you know? I think it stands out to say that there are some weird little things that annoy all kinds of different people for different reasons, and it reflects in our reviews and our opinions, and that's cool. Anyway.
All right. That was Power Word Pain. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.